that you're really interested about and you want him to elaborate on, you can tweet me. I'll check my Twitter live all throughout the panel, and I want to incorporate your comments and your questions. So you can just follow me or at Janice Davis, and I will incorporate your comments and questions into the panel. Is it okay with you guys? And keep everybody. All right, perfect. So I'm Janice Davis. I'm an author of a video game thriller called The Holder's Dominion. I am also a columnist for MMORPG.com. It's an online video game site for online games and RPGs. I'm also a moderator for Wizard World and San Diego Comic-Con, literary and entertainment expos. And just recently, I was asked to be a video game podcast host for a video game podcast called The Gamer's Dominion, inspired from my book. So that is me in a nutshell. Take it away, Alec.
All right, I'm Alex Murphy.
You know, you got to be right up on
there
these.
All right, I think I'm close enough now. Great. My name is Alex Murphy. I'm a video game developer, specifically a technical artist at GameSim in Orlando, Florida. I got started at UCF after I realized that I wanted to make video games, and I went there for 5 years, got my bachelor's degree in video game design and digital media, and then I was lucky enough to get started at GameSim a few months later. So I've been doing that ever since. I've worked on a couple of major titles, including Madden 25, Madden 15 through EA Sports, as well as NFL Showdown with Zynga Sports for the brief time that they were a company. Which was a successful ship. And then I've also been working on some in-house games, including Tiny Epic Kingdoms, which is going to be coming out probably sometime this year or early next year. So very exciting, still fairly early on, and I'm learning as I go. I'm really enjoying it. So
Very cool. Round of applause for Alex. That's awesome. Very cool. Adam.
Name's Adam Meyer. I'm the game director at Steamroller Studios. I got my start doing contract work for all kinds of companies in the Orlando area, EA as well, Disney, Universal Studios. Did some work for the original logo for BioShock. That kind of was what really got me into the video game industry. We started in the studio shortly after that. We're a team of about 12 right now, and we're working on a game called Deadwood the Forgotten Curse, which is a game with a bunch of little wooden people and wooden zombies who come after you. And we're a ways away for about a year and a half away from release, but we're working on that now and having a great time in the video game scene right now.
Everybody that walks by their table loves what they're doing. So you guys check out Steamroller Studios table. They're working on a really cool game. Round of applause for Adam. Matt, take it away.
My name is Matt Liff. I own a studio down here called Clockwork Elements. We focus mostly on mobile game development. We've been around for 5 years and have put out 3 mobile games. We put out a PC game that's on Steam. That was greenlit last year. It's called Regimental Chess. It's definitely like crazy variant of chess. So if you're a fan of chess, I definitely suggest check it out. I got my start about 8 years ago in the game industry, starting up in Chicago, working for a couple different companies. I started at the bottom as a tester, and basically I did that for several years, and then I relocated down here because I got tired of the winters, and there wasn't much of a scene down here, but I didn't want to do anything else but make games, so I just started my own company and took it day by day.
Awesome. Very cool. Round of applause for Matt. I'm really curious to hear, your story about how you knew video games was the right career for you, because it can be a challenging career, it can be an awesome career. And so was it a certain game that inspired you to jump in, or was it a certain time in your life? Adam, take it away.
For me, I actually wanted to be a comic book artist growing up, and
Oh, wow.
I liked it because it combined 2 things I love: art and storytelling. And video games at the time seemed a little more unreachable. Now it seems to be a lot easier. You can jump in and start making mobile games, and there's so many tools out there for young people to use. Back when I got started, it felt much more difficult to get in the industry. But I don't think there was really any one game that did it for me. I think when I did the BioShock logo, I think it became real that I could actually do this for a living and combine my love for art with my love for video games. For me, it was just, I think we're just now getting to a point where you can make the kind of storytelling you want in a game. It's matured a lot, so that's what got me into it. Is probably just the combination of storytelling and art.
Cool, awesome. I love that. Alex?
Well, I just want to say, first of all, Adam, you're my hero for working on BioShock at all.
Oh,
because
thank you.
Yeah. Oh, BioShock!
my favorite video game of all time. So I did not know that up until 2 seconds ago.
So scary. Anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, so for me, my favorite video game ever, which is also probably what got me into the next level of interest with video games and got me interested in being involved in the actual development of it, is Halo. I started playing Halo with my friends when I was much younger, and we got very competitive. We started playing local tournaments and things like that, and you know, just kind of spurned a curiosity, like how do you shoot a rocket with a rocket launcher? How does it explode when it hits an object? How does this work? Why are there glitches? And it made me think, hey, maybe I should look into this further, and I did, and I realized that I had a passion for it. I also, as a child, I was very passionate about writing, and I wanted to become a writer.
Fellow writer.
Fellow writer, there you go, there's two of us. Yeah, I always wanted to be a writer when I was younger, and that felt a bit unreachable to me as I got older. I realized that writing isn't something that you can just hop into, so I started exploring my two passions and how to combine them. And of course, video game development and design is a great way to take creativity, like what you would have while you're writing, and integrate it into a creative project like video game development. So
wow,
that's kind of what spurred me forward.
That's so cool. So cool. Yeah.
My story is probably a little bit different. When I was about 2 months away from graduating college, I had no clue what I wanted to do. You know, I was going with a degree in history and I was minoring in philosophy. I took those subjects because like they interested me. But like I said, when I got close to the end, I was like, you know, oh crap, what am I gonna do with myself?
That moment decision.
Yeah, you know, and the thought of just doing a job that I wasn't like gonna be passionate about for the rest of my life, it's just I knew that would kill me. I don't know if it was the philosophy that I studied and warped my mind or whatever, but so I got close and towards the end I was like, you know, I really like games, you know. I felt like I was a creative person, but I didn't know what my medium was at that point. You know, I'm not a musician, you know, I'm not a painter, I'm not a writer, but I did feel a sense of creativity, so, you know, I always loved games, and, you know, when I graduated, I did some searching, and I saw that there was, you know, a studio that was looking for game testers, and this is like, you know, kind of like when Grandma's Boy was like out, and it was like, so it's like perfect, and you know, I was really excited. I remember going in for the interview and like just being interviewed and being part of the scene and just seeing what was going on and being around people that like also like loved games and were passionate about it. I just felt like at home. I knew that this is it. This is what I want to do.
I love that you said at home because I can relate to that so much. My first online game was Final Fantasy 11. Any Final Fantasy fans? Final Fantasy? Yes, perfect. I was going through a time in my life where I was struggling with shyness and having confidence and feeling like, how can I find my voice? Do I have an opinion? Can I give my opinion? And it was actually, you know, the link shell that I was in and playing with people from Japan and England and all over the world that would rally around me and go, you know this fight like the back of your hand, get on the mic, help other players, you know, learn the routine and the rotation. And I was terrified at first, and I didn't want to get on the mic, and there's this joke in the online world where girl stands for guy in real life. And so, you know, I get on the mic and everyone would be like, you're not a girl, you're faking it, there are no girl gamers. So, you know, that was back in 2002, of course, and so it was, there weren't as many female gamers as there were males, but the ESA just came out with a report this year that for the longest time, male gamers had the highest percentage of people who would buy games and play games, and just this year, it's now 52% women and 48% men. So women have taken the lead. Round of applause for women. Come on, feel the love. And I just thought that was so cool because video games have transformed my life in such an incredible way where I used to teach horseback riding lessons and I used to work in a financial institution, and it was very hard for me to speak in public or meet new people. And so for me specifically with Final Fantasy and World of Warcraft and Fable and these games that are very binding. You can find a second family there. So I love that. I love that you can hear all these different stories, but there's this common thread that we found a passion in video games, and we knew that we wanted to be a part of it in some way, whether as a writer, or as a designer. So if you guys could jump into the nitty-gritty, like let us know the opportunities out there for working in video games, because there are more opportunities than you think. I mentioned on the last panel that Valve, for example, hires psychologists to interview gamers and to decipher what do gamers like, what frustrates them, to help their games be even more appealing. And so many audience members were like, what? I can be a psychologist and work for Valve? So just tell us a little bit about the opportunities. Adam, if you want to start, and then we'll go down the line.
I use my example. I remember
Oh, dang.
when I learned that I think Zynga, I don't know what the ratio is, but they hire a lot of psychologists, and that just blew me away.
We were on the same wavelength. That's crazy. The same example. Well, what else? Lighters and animators
Yeah,
and
I mean,
riggers.
everything. I mean, as video games become more and more like movies as far as production value, they require all different types of people. And depending on the genre, that changes too. I mean, you could say you're really into space. I mean, and you study a lot of that kind of stuff. You could be a consultant on a space game because they're going to need to know. I mean, our first game was a football game, and I don't know anything about football, so we had to call my partner's dad, and she's like, so what happens when, like I don't know the rule, like what, so,
Cool.
consultants is another thing. If you have I love video games, but you also, you're not necessarily just thinking into the models and all the technical stuff, you could potentially be a consultant as well.
I love that. I love that. And for the writing side, there's huge opportunities. Video games are now reaching out to authors and writers